This is section 5.3, Solving Systems by Elimination. Our objective today is to solve a system of linear equations by elimination. New vocabulary is the elimination method. The elimination method. Step 1. Multiply one or both of the equations by a number so that one of the variables has the same coefficient in both equations. Step 2. You will add or subtract the equations to eliminate one variable. You'll add if the equations have the same coefficient but just opposites, like a 3 and a negative 3. You will subtract the equations if it's the exact same coefficient, so 3 and 3. Step 3 will be solve the resulting equation for the other variables. Step 4, substitute that number in either original equation to find the value of the eliminated variable. Let's jump into an example. We have 5x minus 6y equals negative 32, and 3x plus 6y equals 48. You'll notice that we have a minus 6y and a plus 6y. That makes elimination really easy. Since one's a minus and one is a plus, we are going to add the two equations together. Notice that 5x plus 3x is 8x. Negative 6y plus 6y is 0. That has been eliminated. Negative 32 plus 48 is 16. Now I have 8x equals 16. I can easily solve this by dividing by 8, and I get x equals 2. Now I take this number, plug it into either of my original equations. It does not matter. I'm going to plug it into 3x plus 6y. So 3 times 2, because x is 2, plus 6y equals 48. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 6y equals 48. Subtract the 6 off of both sides. 6y equals 42. Divide by 6, so y equals 7. My solution should be 2, 7. That is elimination. Now let's check just to be sure we got the right solution. So 5 times my x is 2, minus 6 times my y is 7, should equal negative 32. 5 times 2 is 10, minus 6 times 7 is 42. 10 minus 42 is negative 32, so it works. Now let's check the other one. 3 times x is 2, plus 6 times y is 7, should equal 48. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 42. 6 plus 42 is 48, so it works. There's my solution, 2, 7. Let's do this one. Actually, try this one on your own. It's very similar. All right, you'll notice that the 3x and negative 3x, they are the same coefficient but opposites. So we are going to add the two equations together. 3x plus negative 3x eliminates that variable. 4y plus 2y makes 6y. 16 plus 8 makes 24. Now I just solve for y. Divide both sides by 6. I get y equals 4. I'm going to take that 4 and plug it into either one of my original equations. I'm going to use 3x plus 4y equals 16. So 3x, because we don't know what x is yet, plus 4 times y is 4 equals 16. So 3x plus 16 equals 16. Subtract 16 off of both sides. I get 3x equals 0. Divide both sides by 3. 0 divided by 3 is 0. So my solution is 0, 4. To check our work, we plug it into both original equations. So 3 times 0 plus 4 times 4 should be 16. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 4 times 4 is 16. 0 plus 16 is 16, so that one checks out. Negative 3 times my x is 0, plus 2 times 4 for y equals 8. Negative 3 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. 0 plus 8 is 8. So it works out. Let's try a word problem. At the school store, Ricardo bought 4 pencils and 6 erasers and spent $2.60. Annabelle bought 4 pencils and 10 erasers and spent $3.80. Solve the system to determine the cost of 1 pencil and the cost of 1 eraser. So let's start by writing our system. So Ricardo bought 4 pencils and, which is a plus sign, 6 erasers. Let's use P for pencil, E for erasers. He spent $2.60. So there's our first equation. Annabelle bought 4 pencils and 10 erasers, and she spent $3.80. Now, if you look at this system, you'll notice we have 4p and 4p. They're the exact same coefficient, so we are going to subtract the equations. 4p minus 4p is 0. That's been eliminated. 6e minus 10e is negative 4e. Be careful that you remember to subtract. 2.60 minus 3.80 is negative 120. Now we divide both sides by negative 4 to get e by itself, and e equals 0.30. Now we take that and we plug it into either of our original equations. I'm going to plug it into 4p plus 10e. Plug in e is 0.3 equals 380. So 4p plus 3 equals 380. Subtract 3 off of both sides. 4p equals 0.80. Divide by 4, and p equals 0.20. Now our answer, since it's a word problem, is not an ordered pair. Our answer will need to be a pencil costs 20 cents, and an eraser costs 30 cents. So we're hoping that's our answer. Let's double check really quick. 4 times my number of pencils, or my cost of pencils, which is 0.20, plus 6 times 0.30. Hopefully that equals 260. 4 times 0.20 is 0.80, plus 6 times 0.30 is 1.80. Equals 2.6. 0.8 plus 1.8 is 2.6. So it works. For the other equation, 4 times 0.2 plus 10 times 0.3. Hopefully that equals 380. 4 times 0.2 is 0.8. 10 times, that's a plus. 10 times 0.3 is 3. 3 plus 0.8 is 3.8. So it works out. My solution is that a pencil costs 20 cents and an eraser costs 30 cents. Example 4. Franklin and Marianne sell gourmet cakes for a fundraiser. Franklin sells 2 large cakes and 6 small cakes for $190. Marianne sells 2 large cakes and 3 small cakes for $130. Find the cost of each small cake. Try this on your own. All right, the equations we need to write. I would call it 2L plus 6S equals 190, and 2L plus 3S equals 130. We're going to subtract these equations. 2L minus 2L is 0. 6S minus 3S is 3S. 190 minus 130 is 60. Divide by 3, so we know S equals 20. We take that and plug it into one of our original equations. I'm going to go 2L plus 3 times 20 equals 130. 3 times 20 is 60. Subtract 60 off of each side. 2L equals 70. Divide by 2, L equals 35. So my answer is a large cake costs $35, and a small cake costs $20. Let's double check that to make sure we're right. We're going to do 2 times my large cake, which is 35, plus 6 times my small cake, which is 20, and that should equal 190. 2 times 35 is 70, plus 120. 70 plus 120 is 190, so it works. Our other equation is 2 times the large cake plus 3 times the small cake equals 130. Well, that's 70 plus 60. 70 plus 60 is 130. So it works. The cost of a small cake is $20. All right, now this one is an example where you might have to multiply one of the equations. Notice that none of the variables have the same coefficient. But I also noticed that a 10 and a 5 could easily become each other. So we want to multiply, so we're going to take this second equation and we're just going to multiply everything by 2. So the top one stays the same, 10x minus 7y equals 2. Negative 5x times 2 is negative 10x. 3y times 2 is 6y equals negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Now I can take these two equations and I'm going to add them together because I have a positive 10 and a negative 10. Those eliminate. Negative 7y plus 6y is negative 1y. And 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 1 and y equals 4. Now I take that and I plug it into either of my original equations. Let's do 10x minus 7 times y equals 2, which is 10x minus 28 equals 2. Add 28 to both sides. 10x equals 30. Divide by 10. So x equals 3. My final solution is 3, 4. Let's check that really quick to be sure. 10 times 3 minus 7 times 4 should equal 2. 10 times 3 is 30. 7 times 4 is 28. 30 minus 28 equals 2. Perfect. Then negative 5 times 3 plus 3 times 4 equals negative 3. Negative 15 plus 12 equals 3. Well, negative 3. And it does indeed equal negative 3, so it works. Try this one. All right, for this one, to make them the same, we're going to multiply the bottom equation by 2 again. So we get 8x minus 3y equals 4, and negative 8x plus 8y equals 16. We're going to add these two equations together. My x's eliminate. I'm left with 5y equals 20. Divide by 5, and y equals 4. Plug that into either original equation. Let's do 8x minus 3 times 4 equals 4, which is 8x minus 12 equals 4. Add 12 to each side. We get 8x equals 16. Divide by 8, and x equals 2. So my solution is 2, 4. Let's double check that. 8 times 2 minus 3 times 4 should equal 4. Well, that's 16 minus 12, and 16 minus 12 is 4. That works. And then we have negative 4 times 2 plus 4 times 4 should equal 8. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. 4 times 4 is 16. Negative 8 plus 16 is 8. It works. Now we're going to look at some infinitely many or no solution problems. For the first one, 2x minus y equals 3 and negative 2x plus y equals negative 3. Notice the x's have the same coefficient but opposites, so I'm going to add my equations together. Well, the x's eliminate. Negative y plus y, that also eliminates, leaving me a 0. 3 plus negative 3 is 0. 0 equals 0. Yes, it does. My solution is infinitely many solutions. For letter B, notice the x's have the same thing, but opposite signs. So we're going to add. The x's eliminate. Notice the y's eliminate as well, so it's a 0. 11 plus negative 2 is 9. 0 does not equal 9. That is no solution. For C, negative 9x plus y, negative 9x plus y. We're going to have to subtract here. Negative 9x minus negative 9x is 0. Y minus y is 0. 1 minus 8 is negative 7. 0 does not equal negative 7. That is no solution. And for the second one, we'll have to multiply the top equation by 2. We'll get 2x plus 6y equals 4. And 2x plus 6y equals 4. We'll subtract those two equations. 2x minus 2x is 0. 6y minus 6y is 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. That is infinitely many solutions. Before eliminating, always ask yourself, are both equations in the same order? do one of the variables have matching coefficients? And if I want to eliminate a variable, should I add or subtract? You're going to do some group problems and get your assignment tomorrow.